all the way from South Africa. Her name is Ntombi, and I'm gonna let her introduce herself. I met her in my mastermind group, and she is a beautiful, beautiful soul. So go ahead and introduce. Well, first of all, welcome to Coffee with Kat. I hope you guys have your coffee or your choice of drink. And it is early, so hopefully it's coffee for those people that are watching us, or tea, or water, whatever. And but yes, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell the audience what you do.
Thank you, Kathy. Good afternoon. It's afternoon from this side of the world. Afternoon, Kathy. It's nice being in your program, Star Changers. My name is Ntombi Mnconywa from South Africa, the beautiful country of South Africa. In South Africa, I live in East London. I am a lecturer by profession. I teach. I'm an accounting lecturer, and I'm a chartered accountant as well by profession. But then, as I met you in the Thinking into Results program, so I got fond of you. You are such a beautiful soul, and I'm grateful for this opportunity to be part of your program. So, but now it's not about the accounting, the whole lecturing profession, but it's about life and my purpose in life that I've actually found lately. Thanks, Kathy.
You're very, very welcome. So that is something we both have in common. We have an accounting background. So people that don't know me, I have my bachelor's degree in accounting, and I did 20 plus years in corporate as managing accounts payable departments. And so nobody likes to pay the bills, but it's always easier to pay somebody else's bills, right?
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
So I actually loved. Go figure. I loved being in accounts payable. And some people think that's weird, but I loved it. I developed great relationships with my team and with the vendors. And so, but yeah. So aside from accounting, we are here because we want to welcome Joanna. Thank you for being here. We want to talk about what our purpose is, because you know what? We are all born for a purpose. And so with that said, can you tell us what is your purpose, and why do you feel so strongly about this topic?
You know what, Kathy? I love kids. I love children. I've worked with children as a teacher and as a lecturer. I've worked with the teenagers, and I've observed them as they grow, that there is something that we are missing. Yes, we're teaching them to live, teaching them life experiences and all those things that they can use in life. However, I think we kind of miss something, that actually what we see and think that we know about them might not necessarily be. I do believe that each and every individual has got a purpose. So there are two scriptures that I like from the Bible. The one is from Psalms 139, verse 14, that says, "We are fearfully and wonderfully made." And the other one that talks to God's purpose about us is on Isaiah 46, verse 10. Knowing that and realizing that actually, before God created each and every one of us, God had the whole plan up to the end, and then decided, I'm going to create Kathy to fulfill that specific purpose. And therefore, each and every individual in life, the billions of us, each one has got his or her own purpose that he or she was created for. And that purpose we need to find. So when I'm looking at the youth and what you are teaching the youth, normally they will look at us as their like mentors, and then want to follow on our footsteps. But actually, there is something bigger than that. So they are there to create something in their lives, which is actually what God has purposed for them. And it is always, the Bible is, it says that my purpose will stand. And therefore, until someone finds his or her purpose, you will never be satisfied. So that's why then you find that people are not happy. You find that maybe the kids are using drugs, they are abusing alcohol. It's because they have not found what actually interests them. They just moving with life as things happen in life, trying to follow other people. But actually, God has something special for them and about them. So my purpose really is to help those kids find themselves. So my focus is on the 16-year-olds to the 21-year-olds. So because that is my focus group, because that's where there's kind of like conflict between what they want to do and the whole peer pressure out there. So I want them to find their goals and be focused in life and be better people. Something that we never really were found when we're still young. We never had that opportunity for someone to tell us about that when we were young. That's why we followed the other routes that we saw other people following. So that is my purpose.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. Oh, am I echoing? So, but no, I absolutely, and it seems like a lot of times that age group, that particular age group is left out. Like even when you're like in the foster care or the adoption system or just in life in general, that age group, it seems to be left out as far as finding their, just because they're almost adults, but they're not kids anymore. And so
Yes.
people just think that they know what they're doing, where, you know, I think that we need to love them even more because, you know, that age is such a, it's such a volatile age where, you know, a lot of your views and stuff about life form. And I absolutely, I love what your purpose is. And so, good morning, Sean. So Sean is one of my my friends that met on Facebook, and so he's been on here. But yeah, so if anybody has questions as far as for Ntombi or me, let me know. You know, I love what you're doing. I absolutely adore you. So Sean said he is live in Atlanta, Georgia, and so that's actually Atlanta, Georgia is where John lives. And apparently Sean lives there as well. So when you, I know that your focus, I don't know if you froze, but can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I think
Okay.
you did cut at some point in time.
So,
yes, you are right, Kathy, to say that that group is actually a volatile group. Because what you find is that at that age group, you either follow your peers, so because you want to belong, or on the other side, you have your parents. So if I am a parent and say I wanted to be a doctor, but never got that opportunity of being able to become the doctor. So now with my son or my daughter, what do I want next? I want then my purpose or what I wanted or I dreamt of to actually be my son or my daughter's dream. So I kind of direct my son to be a doctor. So you have to be a doctor, you have to go to a medical school and do the MBCHB and be a doctor, or you have to go to university and be a chartered accountant. I never had that opportunity. So you must do that. You must appreciate that I'm actually providing for you. So you see now it's all about what you as a parent want or wanted but never had. And then you are making that the dream for your child. So, and then there's that pressure. You find that then at varsity, you have kids that are actually doing something that they never wanted to do because of the pressure from home, because the mother or the father, they want the kids or the child to do that. So that is actually a volatile age because they can't take their decisions, because you can't take your decision because you're living under my roof. You are my responsibility. So you have to do as I want you to do. And actually we are boxing them. We are not allowing them to live their life, but actually there's a bigger life out there. They have an opportunity to explore. They are even better than us because there are lots of things available to them. There are lots of resources available to them. There's technology available to them. So their minds are actually broadened because they have access to kind of like global information because they can see all that using the technology. But we still kind of box them because we think that we want them to live, or we want to live our lives in them, and we're not helping them. So that's why then you find that you have those teenagers confused, not knowing what to do.
Oh my gosh, I think you just explained that so well. Absolutely. Because I've seen that in my life. I've seen it in whether it was my parents, whether it was me. I saw that, and I kind of had to stop it because the kids need to live their own life, and that's it's, I mean, like you said, God put you here on for a purpose, and it's not your parents' purpose, it's your purpose. And but yeah, and I've seen it also in other people's lives where parents direct them to where they want to be, and then those kids become adults and they're not happy, they're miserable. Yeah, they're absolutely miserable. And but yes, and I believe that do you have a nonprofit or something that you're doing? I can't remember if you're doing like
yes, I have it. It's not a nonprofit, but it's just an ordinary private company, which is Ntombi Education and Motivation, which I have just started because I wanted to work under that banner, specifically to educate the young people and as well the parents of those young people. But actually the focus is more on the young people to kind of educate them, motivate them, and to kind of help direct their world. Because as you know, as we have learned on the Thinking to Results, the importance of our thoughts and how the environment affects our thoughts. So they need to learn the positive thinking whilst at the early age. And they need to know that they actually are able to create the life that they want to live. That one does kind of excite me, to know that you can create the life that you want to live. It's been there, when you've been knowing that there's something that I don't actually know, but there's something deep that I'm not aware of that I'm not exploring. This thing that we are actually spiritual beings, having an intellect and living in a body, never really sink well until lately. And I realized that actually we are spiritual beings, but we usually allow our intellect to control us. We don't know that we are actually infinite. We can do anything. We are capable of creating anything. And it's not for someone else, but it's for each and every one of us. Knowing that everything that we see around and see all those big buildings, the aeroplanes that we kind of flow with these days, everything, the cars that like the life that we call like the luxury life that we live today, that it was actually an individual's thought. Someone thought about it and then worked on that thought. And at the end, it benefited everybody. So imagine if then we had the many people being in that space of thinking positively and creating a lot of things through their thoughts, the world will be a better place than it is today. So if those kids had like positive thoughts, we won't have these issues of alcohol abuse. Yes, alcohol is fine. They can still drink alcohol, but you can drink alcohol for fun, but you can still be the person that you want to be and not really kind of abuse alcohol, because at the end, it kind of abuses you. So you will not have this problem of drugs. The kids wanting to all of this time be in this hype of things, because they will have this focus of focusing on that particular goal. Because when you do something that you love, you become so excited about it and you want to continue finding more about it. And therefore, you won't have time to think about all those other things that can actually will not help you. So I'm trying to grab them early in their lives so that when they look at their life, when they have to spend the rest of their lives, they can actually enjoy the whole life, because you enjoy life when you do what you want to do. And as you know, that happiness does not come from outside, but happiness comes from inside. It's an inside out, this thing. But I think we've been kind of thinking that actually other people have a responsibility of making us happy. And it's not that way. So that excites me, Kathy, I must say. I love kids. I love those teenagers. I love working with them because they are still honest, but they do have all these challenges that they have.
Oh, so I absolutely, I just gives me chills what you're doing right now. Once we can help the kids, our life will be so much better because they're our future. They're our future. So, that's where we need to work as a society, as a community, as the world. We need to help our children. And I know for me, like for 50 years, I was just going through the motions of life because that's what I thought I was supposed to do. But, I've learned over the last year, like you have learned, that our thoughts control everything. The desk that I'm right here, somebody thought about it. Somebody loves to make desks, and somebody is that's their passion. Actually, my husband is a woodworker. It's his passion. He loves to do things with his hands and make things. And so Sean said, agreed. There's a lot of truth in that statement. When you love on what you do, time is no factor. And then he said, I love people, coaching, and creating insights as well as speaking. So he's a great one to connect with. He's absolutely amazing. So this is interesting to me that you're on here. So I'll have to give you a little bit of background about myself. I had a friend, her name is Arlena Walker or Waller. I always get her last name mixed up. Anyways, she is actually in charge of she founded a nonprofit for teenage girls called She Power Leadership. And that's basically her entire mission, is to help young females become the leaders of their lives. And she is the reason I'm doing what I am doing right now. Because she had asked me back when, like last year when we had all of the riots here, I had to take a step back and I was like, what can I do to help society in general? And she had asked me, as being a white female, she said, since you're in the majority, can you please help the fight and the fight? Well, not even the fight. Well, yeah, I guess you would say the fight, but can you help us as a minority, because she is a Black female. And she's like, can you help us with equality? And so I am now on a mission to help bring connection and equality. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's where I found my purpose in life. And you know, and once you know your purpose, like you said, once you know your purpose, time is no factor. You love what you do. Sean said my husband seems like a really cool dude. But yeah, so it's kind of interesting that you and Arlena have that same passion for the kids. So I will connect you with her and see if there's anything that she could do for you or you could do for her. And but yes, and so that is actually, that's why I'm here. So I'm so excited to be able to share that with you. If you could say, do you have, well, I have two last questions. One, do you have any regrets in life? Like, is there anything that you wish you would have done?
I would not really say it's really a regret. I think that my life has been a long journey. I've learned quite a lot of things. I unfortunately lost both my parents whilst I was at varsity. So I had then to leave out of the support from other people. I think from that, I've learned to love. I know that people will say that I hate someone or whatever. I don't hate people, I love. I always move from the angle of love, which I really appreciate that about me and what I've learned from that situation. And I've moved like from teaching to, I was in the corporate world, the audit world, and then back to lecturing. The COVID, I think the COVID and the lockdown, that's what actually brought me to where I am. Like you also say that all the information that I got, that I'm, the whole lessons, the whole teachings I'm going through now, I do feel like I wish I had known this earlier in life. But I'm just grateful that I'm able to have found it at this stage before I'm really too old to do anything. So I don't regret per se, but I do wish I had found this information early in life. I think that's one of the things that motivates me to kind of deal with kids so that they can have this and have access to this information early in their life. Otherwise, I don't have regrets. I've been living my life like as a born-again Christian. So with all the values, some I learned by myself because like my parents were not really those staunch Christian people, but I was one. So I've been walking my journey since I was a child. So I had my own values and then I kept my values. But of course, in life, you'll always meet some other people that you wish, these people are not really the kind of people that I should have met. You appreciate them as people, but Les Brown will say that only quality people. Sometimes you feel like
Yeah. OQP.
Not really
OQP.
OQP, yes, OQP. So I think that angle I would have done better to kind of look at only quality people. And he always says that if in your circle, you kind of the one person that people always get something from, then maybe you have outgrown that group. Go to the other one where you will have people challenging you. I think that's where I've not explored quite a lot. I think that's what I learned then, that I need to be open to other people, be open to all the challenges, open to being vulnerable, because sometimes we hate or we don't like being vulnerable. So I've learned that I need to be open and make myself vulnerable. And in that process, I will grow.
Oh, yeah, that was beautifully said, beautifully said. So Sean is like, agreed, only quality people. So I love when Les says like OQP, OQP. But yeah. Again, if anybody's out there that has any questions for Ntombi or myself, let us know. So one last question, well, to honor your time, is there anything that you would like to leave with the audience? Is there like one last quote, one last, whatever you would like to say to the audience as far as their mission in life or whatever you would like to say?
Thanks, Kathy. What I would really like to say to the audience is that people must realize that God has created them and them alone for a specific purpose. That where you are seated, where you are, remember that you are God's masterpiece. So you are the piece of the master, created for good things. And those good things in Christ Jesus were set before in advance. So there is a purpose for you. So don't look around and undermine yourself when you're looking at other people. Don't look around and try and compete with other people. Always realize that there is a space for everyone. There is a space for everyone. You don't have to knock other people on the way to go higher. No, you have your own path. Just go through that path on your own. Don't mess up with other people because those things will always follow you. Just believe in God. Stay with those positive thoughts and be consistent and be persistent. Take that decision and move on. I know sometimes we think that where we are is actually our comfort zone. And actually, it's not a comfort zone at all. It's only that we are so scared of getting out of that box. We are scared of something that we don't know. As Les will always say that it's better to die working for yourself than die working for someone else. So just make sure that wherever you are serving your purpose, and then your life will be fulfilled.